You work with your ATEM, feel stupid like a camel. Just drop by and have a look at Aaron's YouTube channel. If the code of your macros just looks like spaghetti, you better check the YouTube channel of young Aaron Parecki. If you ask him in the live stream, he will make you just go wow. He'll show it live, yes he is gonna demonstrate you how to survive any disaster in this complicated world. Tell you about solutions that you neither thought nor heard. Participants just wonder, did he ever say don't know? His thoughts and hints are useful, yeah we should make him Pope. He changed my life, my whole world, from dumb to confident. If we are lucky, he will beat Donald Trump as president. If we are lucky, he will beat Donald Trump as president.
I love it. Oh my gosh. That was a lovely intro song by Brian Ogot. And thank you very much. I've never had anybody write a song about me before. That was hilarious. So Yes, link to his website is down below. That was a wonderful way to open the show today. That was amazing. Okay, so what are we doing today? What are we doing today? Good to see everybody here. Looks like people are here from all over the place today. Lovely to see that. I am just still laughing from that. That was amazing. Anyway, yes, I'm not planning on running for president, in case anybody was wondering. That's not on the table for me. But thanks, Michael. I appreciate the vote of confidence anyway. Okay. Okay, let's get down to business. If you are new here, welcome. We don't normally start things off that way, but that was just a lot of fun. If you have a question at any point today, feel free to type it in the chat. If you're watching live, start your message with the letter Q, and that makes it easier for me to spot on my screen here as we're chatting today. Otherwise, just feel free to hang out and chat with the other folks here in the YouTube chat. If you are watching the replay, since I know we're probably going to get fewer people here today, given the holiday, if you're watching the replay, there will be timestamps below, so you can skip around if you want to jump to the different topics that we cover today, because there's probably going to be a lot. And if you want to see all of the questions that were asked, there is also a link already below to a page that will show you all the questions that I've highlighted on the screen with timestamps into the live stream. So feel free to use that to skip through the content after you're catching up with this after we're live. So, yeah, okay. We got a lot of stuff to cover today. I don't even know where to start. It's going to be fun. So, NAB is next week. Let's start there. NAB is next week. I am planning on going if everything goes according to plan. So I've got my flights and hotel and all that stuff sorted out. So unless anything very drastic happens, I will be there starting on Sunday when the show opens. And my plan for there is to record a bunch of video, record interviews with people at the different booths, meet up with other YouTubers. I'm going to actually be hosting a meetup with Photo Joseph and Doug Johnson on Monday. So if you are going to be there, then please join us. And that'll be Monday at noon. We have a spot. We're going to plan on meeting at the in the lobby of the Courtyard Marriott and probably hang out at the bar there and just chat. It'll be really casual, nothing formal. No, we're not in an official space or anything. So, but yeah, if you are coming, please join us. It'll be fun. So that's if you don't have to RSVP, but if you want to let us know you'll be there, then the link for this is below, and you can register and let us know that you'll be there. It'll be a lot of fun to see people. So, yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. Let's see what we got in the chat. What I want to see from NAB is a new Blackmagic Design Micro Studio Camera 4K. Yeah, that's the, me too. I think that'd be pretty cool, actually. We'll see, though, because they did just put out the larger ones with the screen on it. I don't know what to expect from them. They always just surprise me. Is my image blurry? I thought I focused the camera right. Let me check. I should be able to full screen this over on my, here, let me show you what I'm doing here. I'm gonna go and look at that larger. No, it looks fine to me. Yeah, it's almost too sharp. Double check the that your YouTube player is not in what just happened? I did something in it and the wrong. Oh, interesting. That's supposed to be there. Okay, I don't know how that got changed. I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, that was weird. Something. I must have an extra action on one of my buttons here. Anyway, yeah. Double check your YouTube player isn't scaled down because sometimes it like starts in 240p and then everything is just blurry. So yeah. Street News Now says we will be at NAB as well. I will look for you. Awesome. Well, you can definitely find me at noon on Monday. Other than that, I have no idea what to expect from my schedule or anything. So at the very least, try to come to that and we'll say hi. Focus is fine. Must be the YouTube player. Yeah, sometimes it just drops down to 480 or 720 and then things look bad. I've also noticed, actually, I was watching Photo Joseph's live stream from an airplane 2 weeks ago in 480. It was this 4K live stream, and I was looking at it this big on my screen because that's all I could get through the airplane bandwidth. And I noticed there was a black stripe on the side. And I think it's something about how YouTube scales the video. Because I was like, I've seen that on my replays when it's dropped me down to 480. And I was like, crap, do I have a black stripe on the edge of the screen? But no, I think it's something about the way they do the scaling. YouTube, I put my stream to 144. Okay, that'll be blurry. That will be blurry. I wish it was better about like telling you that it was doing that too. I waited a year to install Synology NAS, so I think that Blackmagic will announce their own NAS now. You know, you never know. Very well could be. Gosh. Oh, wanted to go to NAB. Emergency changed my plans. Enjoy. Hopefully I'll make it to NAM. Too bad. Well, we'll miss you there. You know, I almost went to NAM. I think it was 2019, and then just like I was just doing too much, and I couldn't make it. I was considering it though. Cool. Okay. The star field video was blurry. But yeah, the stars are blurry. That's supposed to be blurry. That is my new little animated background for showing graphics on top of. I'll show you how I did that in a second if anybody's curious. Cool. Yeah, okay. Since the chat is starting to pick up, if you do want to make sure that if I see your question and it filters it better, please start it with the letter Q, and that just puts it in a little different column here. So speaking of, before we get to other things, let's see what else we've got in the chat. General tips on remembering to press record on an ATEM after it breaks in a long day. That's a good one. Yeah, I mean, not a lot of good of having a whole kit set up if you don't press record. Yeah, I don't know. I guess for me what's helped is making sure I have a very large indicator of whether the thing is recording. So for example, and then I guess it applies to streaming too. So for example, this, and I'm realizing I don't have a camera aimed at the teleprompter. I guess I can turn this one. This one, oh, this screen is in the way. Okay, well, you can kind of see it. My teleprompter is up there. Let's see if we can focus on that instead. Kind of. And yeah, it's not a good angle for this. It is showing me the web presenter output, which means there is a on-air indicator on that screen, which I am always looking at. So that means as I look at the camera, as I look to see what's on the program output, which is this very lovely shot with my computer screen at an angle. Anyway, as I'm looking at that, I'm always reminded that I am in fact on air because there is an on-air indicator in my direct line of sight, always. And that also applies to the, if you were recording with the ATEM, I like to have the record status up here, like always in the corner, and then that turns bright red when it's recording, and just get in the habit of looking at it as like, is this thing on? Like, is this working? Am I doing what I think I'm doing? And that, if you don't have that, and if you're only looking at like the little light on the ATEM, it's very small. It's very small in the corner, and it's not always in your direct line of sight as you're working with stuff. So I feel like that's easier to miss. So that's what I would say. Just big old status somehow to show it that way and get used to looking at it. Yep. Or as Roland is suggesting, get a really big drive and just leave it recording. Also not the worst idea. Also not the worst idea. Another good suggestion from Graham, Companion can have time triggers so you could schedule the recording. Interesting. And it could definitely work if your event is relatively guaranteed to stay on schedule, as long as you're not going to end up with things starting ahead of schedule. It's okay if you end up, recording more of the break if things are starting late, but don't want to miss anything if it starts early. But that's a good tip. Having an ATEM auto start preset time in the app would be nice. Yeah, so Companion can do that with Companion triggers. Let me see if I can show you that. Get the lovely animated background. In triggers, oh, I had a bunch of these for when we were testing out cameras and stuff. So when you create a trigger, you can have it, here it is, time of day. So you can just say, when the time is 10:30, then do, or on certain days, every day, sure, Sunday, then do whatever you want, right? So this could be start streaming, start recording, press a button on your Stream Deck. Maybe I should do that and try to like automate more of this, because right now is a pretty elaborate sequence of events that I do to set up up the show before 10 o'clock. Yeah. But yeah, that's some good tips. Post a note in the middle of your monitor. Could work. Ooh, interesting. Could be useful if the Companion Pi would be on clock, but it loses time if the Pi doesn't connect to the network on startup. That doesn't sound right to me. I feel like I've had my Raspberry Pis keep their clock even if they're powered down. But yeah, that would be a problem. Interesting. Malin says, I often use iMix to do my pre-roll and start on time. Also a good tip. I haven't been using that app at all, really. What is your take on using camcorders as HDMI cameras? Definitely works fine. I would say there's a pretty big range of quality in camcorders, is what I would say. So the cheap stuff is like not going to be good in low light. It's going to be pretty noisy pictures, but you can get camcorders, cheap camcorders for like $200 or $300, which is a very nice price to just have more cameras. I've done that before for like a wide shot at a conference, because you don't need to see a lot of detail in that. It's really just to like get a sense of the space. And then, you know, I have a better camera with a better lens to zoom in on the speaker. But then if you start spending a lot more money, you can get camcorder style cameras that are actually really nice. And I have never used any of those personally. I end up using DSLRs once I start spending more money on cameras. But yeah, there are definitely some good, more expensive camcorder style cameras. One of the other things to keep in mind about any HDMI camera is that the HDMI output may be delayed, and every camera will have a different delay. And two, the signal may not be strong. It totally depends on the camera. So like I have some cameras that the signal sort of falls apart if I try to plug in a 10-foot HDMI cable, and then it just like either doesn't show up or it is just blinking on and off. And then if I plug in a 6-foot cable, everything's fine. Some of the cameras just don't put out a strong enough signal out of their HDMI port. So probably that corresponds with how cheap the camera was. Yeah. Just on Thursday, started up H2R graphics output Pi. Was wondering why the timer was showing negative 1,000 hours for a 10-minute count up. The date on the Pi was February 28th, the last time used. That's not good. Now I'm questioning about whether I've actually tested this myself, because I feel like I've had the clock survive power outages, but then maybe it's just always because it's connected to the network. Interesting. Yeah, okay. Very good point. All record automation is useless when I forget to plug in the SSD to the ATEM. Yep. Very, very good point. Don't forget the drive. I have definitely done that here when I've like tried to record something in the studio and then I go look at that and there's no drive plugged in. I'm like, well, I guess we can't do the record test. If the HDMI signal from the camera is weak, would a short HDMI and then an SDI converter make the signal make a longer run? Absolutely, yes, definitely. And I've done that, definitely done that before. So when I have run cameras long distances at events, I'll use like a short 3-foot HDMI cable to the SDI converter, and then a very long SDI cable, and then you're at the whatever limits of SDI is. So that is definitely doable. Ooh, another good tip about the camcorder. Some camcorders have an output of a particular frame rate regardless of what you're recording at. Also a good point. I definitely have seen some of them only output like 60 frames per second or 50 frames per second. And the only way to change it is to change between like NTSC and PAL, and then it goes from 50 to 60 or whatever. So definitely keep that in mind and look for that in the specs. Pies have a battery. Sounds like his is dead. That does sound right. That sounds right. Cool. Okay. Oh, thanks, Jamie. Great midweek video on your workflow. Ordered your book. Awesome. I hope it helps. It's been useful for me for sure. And I also like having the calendar pages in there just to keep track of how the channel is progressing. So I'm glad you liked the video. Yeah, the video was a lot of fun to put together. I've been meaning to do it for a very, very long time. It's the most recent video on the channel that is an edited video, which I've been trying to do more of this year, and so far it's going okay. I also redid my channel page to make this easier to find. So I have the first playlist up here is all the edited videos, and then the second row is just the live streams. And then I have the like categories of how to and stuff. So hopefully that's easier to find stuff now on my page. But yeah, this video, how I use the ATEM Extreme ISO, it's been really, really amazing. I've been doing that workflow as described in that video consistently since about December now. Before that, I had been sort of doing parts of it and creating that workflow. And I've been pretty much now exclusively doing things that way for the channel. And it really has made it possible to do videos a lot faster, which is nice. So yeah, fun times. Oh, wait, there was another question about that. Where did it go? There it is. From Darren. Also enjoyed the midweek visit. Which company did you use to get the book formatted and printed? Oh, good question. So the formatting I did all myself in InDesign. So it's just like because there were only 2 layouts. So it was one of the other reasons I did it undated. One, because I didn't want to deal with people buying mid-year and then losing out on like half the book. So I did undated monthly spreads. So you can just write in the dates yourself. And then I did the individual video pages, which means there's only 2 different styles of pages. So I created those in InDesign and then exported to PDF and then just like duplicated them until there were enough pages. And then the company that I use to print them is Lulu. Lulu.com. And they are essentially print on demand, and they contract with local printers in all sorts of countries, which is really, really nice because it means you are reducing the shipping a lot. So if you order one in Europe, it gets printed by a printer that is relatively close to you and shipped a short distance instead of shipping across the whole world. So also very nice for Australia because that means you actually get it quickly instead of taking 3 weeks to ship from me. So this has been really nice. And I did my my book about OAuth this way as well. So the OAuth book that I wrote a couple of years ago now is still created and printed through them. They do a couple different styles of binding too. So I did the spiral on this, which is not my favorite, but I wanted the pages to lay flat. So they don't have the like super fancy style of lay flat, but that's what you get for print on demand. Yeah, I've been using Lulu for a couple of years now. Okay, we're getting conflicting opinions about batteries in the Raspberry Pi. Pis don't have a battery, but you can buy an add-on battery real-time clock for them. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I guess that probably is how I guess I've probably just only ever had my Pis online. So that's how mine all sync the clock. Yeah, so you can use NTP service to sync the time if you have internet. Oh, and now that I think about it, I remember looking into this when I was setting one up for doing some ham radio stuff, where it was assumed that you don't have an internet connection because you're like taking it out on the road where the only connection you have is a radio, and I got a GPS receiver for it, not for GPS, but for setting the clock. So you can get a little GPS receiver. GPS does two things. One, it tells the device what time it is, and two, it tells the device where it is in space, and or not in space, on the surface of the Earth. And but yeah, you can also use it as a source of time. So you can set the Raspberry Pi's clock from the GPS receiver, and that is a cool trick for that. The ooh, okay, here's a question. Let's get into ATEM stuff. Do we reckon an ATEM Extreme ISO is still worth it despite the likelihood of being replaced? So again, I have no inside information about this. Nobody really does. Blackmagic holds their cards very, very tight. But I do have a lot of experience looking at the product line, using it, following all the releases. So my expectation of if we see any new switchers from Blackmagic at NAB this year, my expectation is that these are not going to go away at all. It's that these are going to go away and these are going to get replaced. And one of the pretty obvious indicators of that is just how old these are, and also they've updated the design of their hardware since then. So the Constellation is pretty new, and you can see it's got this new matte black. These are all gray. All of these ones, the Television Studio HD is not new, but it's still newer than these ones, and it's also in that style. So also notice that they still have their little new stickers on the Extremes, even though it's been like a year. I don't think this line is going anywhere. I think this is going to stay the way it is. I don't even know if I would be surprised if they even release a 4K version of this form factor, frankly. I don't think we're going to see a 4K ATEM Mini anytime soon. I do think we're going to see a 4K rack mount. So my take on this is I do think the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO is still a good purchase because there's still nothing else that has 8-channel recording of 8 video channels. That does not exist. There are a couple of other 4-channel recorders. I think it's Atomos has one. Is that right? Yeah. So it's like it's more like they're the nice monitors that record ProRes and stuff, and it can do 4 ProRes channels, which is impressive. You need a really fast drive for that. But they don't have an 8-channel one. So I do think this is still a good purchase. I would be extremely surprised if this gets replaced this month. I think we're going to see some stuff in this higher end tier. So that's my take on it. Anything else about the ATEMs? Yeah. Oh, here's a question that I don't know the answer to. From First Last with Google icon. He says, Is it possible to use 2 SuperSource to bring 8 guests at the same time on the Constellation 8K? I've never used the Constellation 8K. I do not have one, and I have never been in a venue that has one. Not totally sure. Somebody else can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think there are 2 SuperSources in it, in which case I believe you can, because if you have 2 of them that you can mix, you can put 4, each one can handle 4, so you could do 8 different windows all moving around. But somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't actually played with that. The skimming through the little spec sheet on here, multi-view, 8K DVE, I'm looking for the SuperSource. There's so many buttons on this. Okay, yeah. Well, we'll wait for the chat to catch up. Okay. Oh, Malin says, I love design. I use it a lot to, or InDesign. I use it a lot to lay out and collate booklets and event programs. Cool. I haven't done much of the fancier stuff in InDesign. I've mostly just used it as straight up page layout. Oh yeah, I'm still confused why there was a mass sale on the Extreme ISO. That is a very good question. I think we were speculating about it a little bit last week in the stream. It seemed to be a few sellers in Europe that had a sale, but I hadn't seen any US sellers drop the price on it. It could be that they're not selling well or something, and then they're trying to just get their stock out so that they can buy more stuff that comes out this month. But yeah. I think Photo Joseph demoed that, but one SuperSource is one of the 4 windows of the other SuperSource. I don't think you can use SuperSource inside Upstream Key. That makes sense. Okay, because it is. So yes, 2 SuperSources are available, but you may not be able to use them all freely in the same. Yeah, I would love to get my hands on a Constellation 8K to play around with it, but that is a very, very expensive device. So, cool. Okay. Let's. Oh, Richard, thank you. Nice and clear on the mic today. Speaking of, I have some other things to try out if we end up in our late in the stream and have some time left. Okay, other things I wanted to cover. That was a good little round of Q&A. So, speaking of NAB, talked about the meetup. If you are there, again, I am going to hang out with Photo Joseph, Doug, and anybody who is there. Feel free to join us on Monday at noon. And yeah, we'll just hang out. It'll be very casual. But also, I am very much looking forward to visiting all the people in their booths, chat with them about what's new, including YoloBox. YoloLive will be there, so I'm excited to check them out. I'm working on an actual video about the YoloBox Mini. This is new. It just came out. Working on a video about this, and hopefully going to get that out before NAB. So you'll hear all my thoughts about this. But the summary, just quick summary of this is, it is essentially the YoloBox Pro, but with only one HDMI input. So anything the YoloBox Pro can do, this can do, except switching. So it's essentially like all of the features, overlays, scoreboard, streaming, recording, all that stuff, but no switcher in it because it's just one camera source. So it is pretty cool for that. The other part of the YoloBox story is we are doing a giveaway. So this is an amazing package of stuff, frankly, that is part of the giveaway. So this is being run by YoloLive on their Instagram. So the way to enter this is to go to their Instagram account and find this post and follow the instructions there. This is an amazing collection of stuff. There's the YoloBox question mark. I think that means it's the Mini. I don't know which YoloBox they're giving away, but given that they announced this before they had the Mini out, I'm gonna say maybe it's the Mini. We'll find out. But yeah, Aperture, a light from Aperture, the Rodecaster Pro, Hollyland Cosmos C1, the new wireless HDMI from Hollyland, my YoloBox cage, and if they do end up giving away the YoloBox Mini, then we will also make sure you get the cage that matches the Mini, which we are working on right now. And SmallRig has a nice video rig as well as the YC Onion slider. So yeah, that is quite a package of gear. So the way to enter is, let's see, go to my Instagram or YOLO Live's Instagram, find the post. You have to enter it on YOLO Live's Instagram. So on their page, scroll down and find this post, and then follow the instructions here. So follow all the brands. It's one of those. Follow me if you haven't, and then leave a comment on the post. And you get some bonus entries as well for doing some more sharing and stuff. So yeah, really amazing package of stuff, and super thankful to them for organizing this and putting this together. YoloBox Mini can't play back video from an SD card. I heard a reviewer say. I did it. I got it to work, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Can the Mini switch from USB and HDMI? No, so it only recognizes one camera, but I'll make sure I show that in the video I do about it. Can you use the USB on the YoloBox Mini with USB capture card to add a second camera? Oh, like plugging in a capture card into the USB port. Some of the capture cards don't work. I have noticed with the YoloBox, so maybe. But no, there's no switching on it. So do I have, no, I lost my USB camera. I think I took it home for something. So I don't have it here to show what happens when you plug both in. But I will show on the actual video I'm doing about this to make sure that, because that is a very common question. And here's another good question. Does it do green screen with a recorded video superimposed as the background? I have not figured out how to do that because essentially I don't think it's possible. And the reason is because, well, here, I'll boot this up. Maybe I can plug an HDMI source into it to show you what I mean. So the, let's see, it's gonna take a second. Let me get all my fingerprints off of it while we're waiting for it to turn on. So if I take an HDMI in, and let's just go into monitor mode, and then, okay, so here is the YoloBox Mini, and if you look at the interface, sorry I don't have this like properly shared into the stream, but there's the graphics, here's the audio, here's the scoreboard, and see how it's different from the YoloBox Pro, where YoloBox Pro has that sidebar, right? But this one's like always in this mode, so it doesn't have the ability to always have that available. So you can add, oh wait, yeah. No, they're right. There is no SD card playback, video playback. I thought there was. I swear I had done that. No, there's no SD card because there's no switcher tab. So what's missing is that whole idea of switching video sources, right? We've got overlays, we've got audio, we've got scoreboard and settings and stuff, but there's no switcher. So I can't do anything that you would do in the switcher tab, which is where you add videos from the SD card. That's also where you configure the green screen. So because the, you know what I should have done with this is, what is this? G. Here's what I should have done. G should actually be my camera. This camera. It's gonna take a second to sync. And then you can see me again. Let's let it actually fully sync out. Come on. There we go. Now you can see me. So yeah, that's what's missing is the switcher tab. So we've got like, the recording button. We've got the configure the resolution. And then back in here, if I connect it to Wi-Fi, then I could do the streaming, but I was just in the monitor mode. So it is a, yeah, I'm a little bummed there's no video playback option, because I think that would be really useful to be able to use for like a countdown timer. And maybe they can add that, because this processor is the processor in the Pro, so it's definitely got the CPU for it. It's more of just like figuring out where to put it on the screen here. So that's why, yeah, that's why there's no green screen or video playback, because there's no switcher tab. It's just not there. But yeah, that's a little sneak peek of the YoloBox. So you still can add in graphics and stuff from the SD card. So you can do, you can start your stream out with a still graphic and then like fade in to your camera when you start the stream. But it'd be really nice to be able to add a video. You also still get the timers, so you can also start your stream with a timer, but no video playback. Cool. Get rid of that. Switch back to here. Yeah, spiff up that YoloBox for the beauty shot. I'm going to clean it up a lot when I do the actual nice B-roll for it. I saw a review. You could use a timer in the beginning, yeah. And a still graphic works fine. So I am going to ask them to add SD card video playback, though, because I think that would be really, really useful. But yeah, keep the questions coming in here, because I am filming this like today and tomorrow. So I will make sure to get all your questions answered and demonstrated in that video. Cool. Okay, let me scroll through here real quick about the YoloBox. Anything else about here? Oh, back on the Extreme ISO, is an expensive piece of kit, so maybe the sellers are having problems shifting them, but they are incredible value for their money. I agree. They are not cheap, but they are very good value. I'm looking to find a software that can real mirror flip a Windows second screen to use with a teleprompter to show PowerPoint. I would recommend not doing it in software and doing it in the monitor itself. And that's what I'm doing with this teleprompter. That's the Lilliput A11. I mentioned this in the video yesterday, or Friday, how I record, where that is doing the image flip, which means anything I send there can be mirrored. So like I'm looking at the web presenter screen mirrored right now, and it's because the monitor is flipping it, which is nice. Cool. Okay. Do I have my NAB pack list set up in H2R gear? I should do that, because yeah, I'm a little bit, I haven't decided yet. So I think I'm going to save this for the end, because it gets kind of tedious, but I have a bunch of microphones that I want to try, and I'm going to bring one of these to NAB, probably not all three. So this is the Sennheiser MD46. This one is the Rode Reporter. I just bought these two last week to try them out. And then this one I've had for ages. This is the Audio-Technica System 10. And they all have different receivers. So they have, this is the Audio-Technica one, which is a huge receiver. But it does have really good antennas. And then here's the two other wireless systems I'm trying to convert wired microphones into wireless microphones. So stick around to the end, and then we'll do a little test to try all these out, because I do have it all wired up to try out quickly, switching between the different receivers, and we can try out all the different combos of them. An extra monitor is not cheap. That is true, but you didn't say cheap was a criteria. Don't forget an extra Allen wrench. Yeah. Where did I just have one over here. Now I lost it already. Okay, I'm definitely gonna have to bring an extra one no matter how many I pack. I'm just gonna pack another one. Microphone test, yes, cool. Yeah, we'll do that at the end, because it gets really tedious. Next generation of ATEM and Roland switchers is NDI source. It's a tough one. I wouldn't be surprised if Roland adds NDI. I would be surprised if Blackmagic adds NDI. I don't think we're ever going to see NDI in Blackmagic stuff, but maybe there's going to be enough pressure where they just have to do it. Any other alternatives to the ATEM or YoloBox which are recommendable? Saw some 2 HDMI switcher capture boxes for cheap. I haven't seen very many 2-up. The one that I have had in the past is the Roland, but it ended up being like thicker than the ATEM Mini, so it wasn't actually that small. I would frankly love to see a very small 2 HDMI switcher. I've half jokingly have mocked up an ATEM Nano for this, and because I still think this is a good idea. This is a 2-input ATEM with still, why not streaming and recording, because that would be useful, but also the media pool. That would be an important part of it, to be able to add graphics and stuff. I think this would be very useful, and ideally it would be tiny. So, it's also why I hope YoloBox updates the original YoloBox with the new processor, because this Mini is a really nice size, and I actually kind of wish this had 2 HDMIs in it, and it was a tiny switcher, because this size is really nice. It's nice and small, and the Pro is significantly larger, and it sometimes feels a little bit much to bring around. So that original YoloBox, though, is a pretty good size, and I wouldn't mind if that got upgraded with a better processor. 2.4 gig mic systems may be risky in environments like NAB, for sure. I am probably going to also bring this on-camera microphone. This is the dual one, so that I can be behind the camera and also pick up the person in front of the camera. Probably going to bring this also just as a backup, but I would really prefer to use the wireless. I think as long as I don't go very far away, it'll probably be fine, but we'll find out. We will find out. But yeah, are there any other alternatives to the ATEM or the YoloBox? There are a whole bunch of companies making 4-input switchers that are very similar to the ATEM Mini ever since that came out. They're fine. They often have a lot of different features in terms of like minor differences of like how how it works and how you interact with it. Not many of them have the ability to be automated from things like Companion, which is one of the reasons I keep coming back to the ATEM stuff, is because you can integrate it so well into the whole workflow. Because like I do use the Stream Deck all the time when I am running the show. I'm pushing these buttons, which you can't really see it. These are my show buttons that manage most of the things, which is how I do the camera switching and script the different series of things that have to happen. So, but yeah, I haven't seen anything smaller than the ATEM Mini yet in terms of like 2-input. But yeah, the other ones, they're fine. Nothing wrong with them if you don't need that sort of external automation. And yes, the ATEM with the YoloBox Mini will give you more camera inputs. What's the GS function? I don't know what that is. But yeah, I think that's also a really good combo, is the YoloBox Mini, because it only has 1 input, but it does have the ability to do more overlays, and frankly, easier to work with overlays than the ATEM, because you can type them right on the screen. So that, as the sort of end streaming encoder connected to an ATEM Mini, and in that case, you only need the original ATEM Mini just as a 4-up switcher. That is a really good combo. Oh, green screen. GS is green screen. So yeah, if you do the green screening in the ATEM and then feed that out into the YoloBox for the streaming bit, and then that's the original ATEM Mini is enough for that, because you don't need the recording or streaming feature of the ATEM, since you're just going to be outputting over HDMI into the YoloBox. So that'd be a good combo, and then that ends up being about $1,000 total for the two, which is a pretty good deal for that amount of features. Yes, please let us know if you're able to get 2.4 wireless to work at NAB. I'm going to be doing a lot of things that are risky at NAB. I'm going to try 2.4 gigahertz audio and video. I am going to bring the Hollyland Cosmo C1. I think I'm going to bring that one. See how it does as a wireless camera connected to the YoloBox rig. I'm probably going to bring the whole YoloBox rig that I brought on the last trip. So that's the two Sony cameras, the YoloBox Pro, the cage, the wireless HDMI, wireless microphone, that whole thing. So we will see how it goes. We will see how it goes. What is the height of the PK1 stand for the Mini Extreme? Couldn't find the specs. We should publish like the dimensions. I'm gonna make a note of that to publish the dimensions of those stands on the website. That'd be useful. I don't know off the top of my head, but I will add it to the website for sure. Okay, speaking of stands. Anything about purple, silver, and red, black? So, yeah, the new ATEM stands that we have out. Where is my link for that? There it is. Let me see what camera I can use for this. So here we go. We have two versions of this right now. So this is the, well, 4 versions. This is the small stand for the, ATEM Mini Original Series. And then comes in black and in white. And we have noticed that nobody seems to be buying the white ones. So I'm really curious because I really like this. I really like the style of, the bright, the contrast. I like the way it looks. But nobody seems to be buying them. So we are thinking about changing, discontinuing the white one and instead doing a second color. So I would like to know, if we were to do a second color, what color would you like to see? Because there are a couple of options. Where is my little graphic? That is the wrong one. Let me swap out the graphic. So these are photos from prototypes printed in red and purple. And this is what we are thinking about doing. I'm going to make a poll in YouTube really quick. What color would you like the new ATEM stand in? Red, purple. Also notice that the red one has black aluminum and the purple has silver. So those are the combos. The purple one doesn't look super great with a black bar. It definitely looks better with the silver bar. Orange is not an option. So we're going to run this poll in YouTube in the chat, and I will share the results in a minute. But yeah, let me know which one you think you would like better. And use the little poll thing. Don't just drop it in the chat. That way we can actually get the results in aggregate. Cool. I'm not gonna spoil it with my opinion. I think they both look great, but the red one is if you actually have purchased the YoloBox stand, it is that is the red. So I don't have it with me anymore because I sent it off to somebody yesterday. But that is the red, and then the purple is I actually haven't seen the purple in person, but this is a real photo. This is not a mock-up. This is an actual photo of the actual printed stand. So yeah, here I'll do. Let me give you larger versions. Here is the purple larger, and maybe I should give it to you on a white background. Here is the red one larger, and And then here is the side-by-side again. So yeah. Okay, how are we doing on the poll? Ooh, we got about half of you voted. That's pretty good. Eric says market research in action. Yeah. Cool. Okay, let me put back the little animated background because it's kind of fun. Very cool design. Thanks. Market research in action. All right, how are we doing on the poll? Yeah, pretty good. Okay, we are... Oh, it's floating over me now. I forgot that that was the wrong button to press. Oh, now how do we get back to that? We are going to do that, and then there we go. I can show you how I did that little effect too, if you want. Can we swap the aluminum? Yeah, so I believe I believe we will try to have the aluminum bars for sale separately, like individually, so that you can just buy the aluminum bars, and they thankfully are the same size for this and the YoloBox cage for the mini one. The extreme ones are obviously a lot larger, so that should be possible to do. It's not available yet, but we will. Okay, how are we doing on the poll? Wow. Okay, we're gonna end this and look at the results. How do I make sure that I can see the results? Let me screenshot this. There we go. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna screenshot. Oh, the blacks are not going anywhere. The black will always be available. This one's doing just great. This one's sticking around. The black one is not going anywhere, but we're considering dropping the white one because nobody's buying it. Cool. Okay, there is the poll done. Does that get pushed out to the chat? It does. We had 55 votes. Let me pull it up on the screen so I can show it to you on the video. Let's see. We're gonna do. Oh, I should have had the. I should have thought about that. We'll replace that. There we go. Oh, that's larger than I thought it was going to be. Here are the results from the poll. We had an overwhelming number of people ask for the red and black over the purple and silver, which is fascinating. I am surprised. My personal opinion is that I like the purple one better, but this is not a poll for me. This is a poll for you. So thank you for that feedback. That is very useful. It shows in the chat too, yeah, but I wanted it baked into the video. And yes, all black is sticking around, but it looks like we have a lot more votes for the red. So cool. Thank you for that. Jamie, thanks for stopping by. Have a good dinner, supper. Do I have a chart that shows the differences in the various ATEM Mini Pro stands? I don't have a chart, but I do have a lot of different pages on the website now. So if you go to PK1.tv, which is now in the chat, this is, if you click on like ATEM Mini, this shows the options available for the Mini, which is basically this one with the aluminum bars, or this one, which is the all 3D printed version with the 3D printed bar on the top. And then the light version, which has these little aluminum dowels, very lightweight. But those are the three main ones for the small ATEMs. The main difference between the two, this one's obviously very minimal, not much here. It's also very cheap. This is just so that the light one just tips it up off the desk. There's no attaching anything to it, really. It's just to tip it at that angle. The difference between these two, this one has a lot more parts and a lot more, it's like more of the accessories we have. So the rear feet and the clips are separate pieces that you have to buy separately. And we have the Stream Deck attachment for this. So the Stream Deck attachment lines up with these screw holes and bolts to this. So if you want the Stream Deck next to it, then get this one. So if you click on this one, there should be a photo of that somewhere in here of using it with a Stream Deck next to it. Where did it go? I guess it's on the Stream Deck page. So yeah, here's what it looks like. Both the XL and the small, and you can get the right or left. So it's a whole bunch of different models to stock. So that's the deal with this one. The cold shoe mounts are fixed, right? Because they're built into the bar. So this one is a whole different story because this one has the aluminum bar, which one means it's way stronger. Like this is the 7-inch Blackmagic recorder. I would not put the 7-inch Blackmagic recorder on this. It's just too heavy once you add batteries. But on the aluminum bar, it's totally fine. You can like pretty much stand on this thing and it's not going to go anywhere. So also because it's an aluminum track, you can put other things into that track and attach things wherever you want. So you can attach things on the back, like these little cable managers. You can put, well, not a lot of room if you have a screen on top, but if you don't have a screen on top, you can put a wireless HDMI thing up there and like a mic receiver and all that stuff. So, but the Stream Deck stands don't attach to the side on this one. We may come up with an option for attaching a Stream Deck stand onto the aluminum bar. So that's future down the road. But that's the main difference between the two. And then the same thing goes with the Extreme. So on the Extreme, same deal. There is no light stand for the Extreme, and the differences are the same. So this one is, again, the whole thing is the 3D printed parts. And then the Stream Deck attachment goes onto the side of both sides, as well as, it's got the built-in cold shoes for these accessories. But again, I would not put the 7-inch Blackmagic recorder on top of this because it's too heavy. So if you want to support a lot more weight, this aluminum bar can hold a lot. You'll have a very hard time finding something that is too heavy. More likely what'll happen is it'll just tip forward or backwards once you start putting like a TV on top or something. So don't put a TV on top. But it can absolutely hold this 7-inch monitor no problem on the aluminum version. So that's the main difference. And the other difference is because these clips are built into the stand, you can't use the deck saver with this one. That's my summary. Maybe that would be useful in the chart, but that's the general idea. Nils says it borders on cruelty to run the poll without Petra in the chat. It's true, but we all know that Petra wants the purple one. I like the purple too, but I'm updating my church and all the new Ethernet and USB cables related to video are going to be red. Interesting. That is cool. Well, that would match very nicely then. Let's do the YoloBox Mini stand. Yeah, that's gonna happen soon. So we'll see what we do with that. I'm debating whether I want it to look exactly like the YoloBox stand or not, or the cage or not. Probably not going to do a stand for the desktop because I don't think that makes a lot of sense, but probably just going to be this cage version. And I'm considering whether I want it to basically look like this, but tinier, where that bar is, above the ports like this, or if it should be something different somehow. Yeah, we'll see. Still working on that. Still in progress. Does the light have the bars included? Yeah, it does. Absolutely. It is a complete kit. So this is, let's go back to that. The light one does come with the little rods. This is what it looks like on the back. They're lightweight aluminum. So like picture, it's very, very light. So it's like kind of the same size as the 15mm rods that you would use in rigging, but like way lighter, not as solid as those 15mm rods you use for camera rigs and stuff. But it absolutely does come with them. Have you considered doing a module for the Stream Deck that uses just the internal module of the Mark II? Absolutely. Yeah, that may end up being what we do with it, because it means that it can be, the whole thing can be slimmer, because I don't have it here, but the new version of the small Stream Deck the case comes off. It's meant to do that. The case comes off, and you can essentially put your own case on it. And I'm definitely curious to try that, because it means that essentially it wouldn't, the whole mount for it wouldn't be any bigger than the Stream Deck itself, which is nice. There is no purple in the shop, but if anybody wants it, order the black, and in the comments, note that you want the purple. Well, there we go. So that's going to be from the Inix3D shop. That won't be from the local resellers, because we're just going to ship that one directly for people who want the purple one. This is why I like the purple. I color code by department, and I have video as purple. Okay, well, there you go. What about a transparent one or some color of whitish nylon? I mean, we have the white one already, and this is available right now. You can find this on the stores. Nobody was buying it, so we're thinking about replacing it. I don't think transparent-ish looks good. I printed something like that a long time ago when I was first doing the stands. I got a transparent filament, and it just didn't look great. You have to, because of how it's built up, there's a lot of stuff inside that you don't see once it's covered up with solid stuff that you can see once it becomes transparent, and it doesn't look super great. So, yeah. And yes, the light has the light aluminum bars, not the 2020 aluminum. Yeah, it's super lightweight, round. Oh, Jules bought the white one. I am not nobody. Well, thank you for buying the white one. That's my favorite. I like it, and I'm glad you bought it. So I appreciate it. So yeah, if you do want the white one, order very soon, because it very well may disappear soon. Cool. Okay. Thanks for doing the poll. That was fun. Oh, questions about the only transparency I think would be decent would be something like blocks of plexiglass. I agree. Like, that would look cool, but that's not what it ends up looking like when you do it this way. So, but yeah, blocks of plexiglass. I don't think we could. It would have to. The whole thing would have to get redesigned to make it out of plexiglass. Also, I don't even. That would be. Plexiglass is a lot more expensive than you think. I too am a little disappointed the white one wasn't selling. Seemed to match Aaron's desk design when he was seated in front of the rack. Yeah, especially when I was using that little rack on the desk, which I'm not anymore. I'm still in the middle of redoing everything, which is now not going to happen until well after NAB. But not nobody, but only very few. Yes, too few to maintain as a product. Why not use the Rode Wireless Go 2, wear it with a lav mic, and the other with the Rode Kit, which makes it a handheld mic? I have been thinking about that also, but the one of the reasons that I don't think that or any of those style are the best options is because they're gonna pick up too much noise. So, like this kind of thing is very isolating and very directional, and we'll test it out in a little bit. And you can see that you'll hear when I point it away from me, you're gonna hear almost nothing, which is very good for a show floor where there's a lot of people around and a lot of noise. I think the Rode would end up picking up way too much of it. That is my theory. Do we ship to the UK? Absolutely, yes. In fact, the best way to do this is to go to the website of the one you want. They're all up here, and then scroll down, and there is a UK seller which will ship from the UK to you. So we should get there very quickly. If you don't see that button, then the EU worldwide can ship worldwide, almost anywhere. there are very few places where we cannot ship. Okay, what's happening? Eric should ship a bobblehead doll with each white. Oh gosh. I don't have a bobblehead doll of me, and I don't think I want one. That sounds terrifying. John says to me the white is too white, while some of the nylons are rather beautiful. Interesting. I don't know. I was actually hoping that it would be even brighter white, but because it almost matches the Apple white, like of the trackpad, but it's a little bit more cream compared to this. Okay. Roland says, I've been tempted by the Roland, no relation, V160 HD, but it doesn't support any kind of built-in recording, much less generating ISOs. Odd that it doesn't support it. I know, I feel like Roland has some serious catching up to do in this department. I think they're coming to NAB, so I will chat with them. I agree, because they have a lot of really nice switchers, but and the switchers do have a lot of nice features, but I feel like you have to have at least recording at this point to be competitive. Hopefully also streaming, and ideally also ISOs. That is such a good feature. And like I mentioned in the video about how I do these videos on my channel, the ISO recording of being able to record 8 channels all at the same time is just great. Just great. Glow in the dark. I don't think anybody wants a glow in the dark stand. Yeah. The downside of using something like the ATEM on the YoloBox is the USB port is 720 only. Well, that doesn't matter for the YoloBox Mini, because the YoloBox Mini has only one video input. It's not a switcher. So you're either plugging in a webcam or HDMI. And yeah, you can't plug the ATEM into the USB port, but you can plug the ATEM into the HDMI port. So I think that's still a good combo. And you don't need any of the features in the Pro. The only feature in the ATEM Mini Pro that you possibly would use is the multi-view, which would take up the HDMI port. But you don't need the streaming or the encoding if you're using it with the YoloBox. So I think it makes more sense to pair the YoloBox Mini with the original cheapest ATEM Mini. Oh no. When one expresses an opinion about the existence of a bobblehead, that almost guarantees one will conjure itself up as by magic. I want to glow in the dark. I want to glow in the dark. Oh, we have some better information here. Glow in the dark looks bad when it's not dark. I don't actually know what color it is when it's not dark. I have a feeling it's like just something that's just blah. Yeah. Why is all the glow in the dark stuff this Lovecraftian lambent green color? Okay. We are getting all over the place. Oh no, the bobblehead vibrates when I get a chat. This is terrible. This is terrible. Glow in the dark is like an off-white yellowish thing when not glowing in the dark. Yeah, that doesn't sound super great. Also, it's not like it would help light up the buttons. The buttons are already light up. If it could like light up something useful when you're using it in the dark, that might be cool, but it's not really made for that. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, we are all over the place now. What are your hopes for NAB? Anything in particular you're looking out for? I'm definitely looking forward to meeting up with everybody who is going to be there. It looks like we're gonna have a great crew of other creators and a lot of the brands I've been working with. I'm looking forward to seeing them in person because I haven't really at all, since most of this has happened since we've all been in lockdown. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm planning on walking around the show floor for all the days I'm there, chatting with everybody. I'm bringing stuff to record. I'm going to try to do live streams from NAB. We cell connectivity and wireless connectivity all, we'll cross our fingers for that. Hopefully that works. Yeah, that's what I'm planning. I have not a ton of stuff on my schedule yet. Just a couple of just the meetup on Monday, which is, again, if you are coming, please join us Monday at noon. And then my live stream, I'm gonna try to do it on Sunday at 10 a.m. Cross our fingers this works. I'm hoping I can do the live stream at my normal time, which is 10 a.m. Sunday Pacific time, which is also 10 a.m. at NAB, which is when the show floor opens. So, yeah, I'm working on making requests to let that happen, because I essentially need a few minutes to set up. So I would have to get into the show floor early in order to do that. But I think that would be more fun than me live streaming up in my hotel room when the show opens. So if I can't pull it off at my normal time, I will probably just do the show 1 hour later. That way I can set up on the show floor and test out the cell connectivity and stuff from the environment that is down there. So yeah, make sure you're subscribed. And I will, as soon as I know what time I'm doing it, I will post the YouTube video. But the best way to get notified about when I am actually live is the email newsletter. So this is at, I'm dropping a link in the chat, news.aaronpk.tv. Sign up for that, because then you get an email half an hour before I go live, which is supposed to be long enough to like remember and get somewhere that you can actually plan on watching it. So that is the best. That is the best way to get notified, because YouTube is not always super consistent. Graham, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for all the info, especially your workflow video. Thanks, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Yeah, that I am also very happy with that workflow video. I hope people watch it. I hope people get something out of it, because there's a lot in there, and I feel like I could turn that whole video into like 10 videos, because I essentially just like talked very briefly about each stage, and I could go a lot deeper. Like, I showed a little bit of what I do in Resolve. I did not explain how to do anything in Resolve, because it wasn't a Resolve tutorial, but yeah, yep. The building sheriff says, how can you only have 28K subscribers? Your channel is amazing. Well, thank you. My channel is 21K and it's utter rubbish. Congrats on 21K. That's not nothing. That's also fantastic. So congratulations. And yeah. Roland says, you really should charge for any expanded courses you produce. It's not a bad idea. Maybe that's one of the things I could do with that content, is turn it into, do all the deep dives, but do those as actual courses, video courses. In the future, will you make a cage for the YoloBox Mini? Absolutely. Currently in the works. Probably only a cage. Actually, I'm curious. While we have you here, because I have a strong suspicion that people only are interested in a cage. But let's do another little YouTube poll. Would you use a cage or stand for the YoloBox Mini? Cage, stand, both. Okay, pushing out that poll. The two styles are cage and stand. So the cage being this, where you have the aluminum bar on the top and bottom, so you can like attach it to a tripod, attach more things onto the top. It will still have the side pieces, so you can bolt, cold shoe stuff to the sides and all that. But this is really meant to be like on a tripod, sitting in front of you. I put a camera up there, which is a really nice way to do like a stream yourself. I think I have a photo of that over here. Yeah. So like I like using it like this also, where I put a camera up there. When I did this photo shoot, I did not bring the Sony camera with me, so that's why it's a Lumix camera, but normally I have my Sony cameras on here. Or the stand version, which is meant for desktop use. So let's see. Still has cold shoes, you know, still have this kind of stuff where you can attach stuff to the stand, but it's meant for putting on a desk at an angle. So let me know which one you think you would use with the Mini. Keep in mind, the Mini has only one HDMI input, so you're probably going to be using it with other things of some sort. So that may be an ATEM to add more inputs. It may be just one camera that you're just streaming. So yeah, let me know. I'll let that poll run for a little while. Patrick says, my tech channel has 1.2K and it's getting there, but your channel's been an inspiration. Thank you, appreciate it. Also, congrats on 1.2, because that is also not nothing. That's a huge milestone. That's the 1,000 is where you can start monetizing, which is great. So congrats. And the building sheriff, thank you for the super chat. I'd like to buy you a drink for NAB. I appreciate it. I will have a drink on you. Thank you very much. Awesome. What is all this chat about? 24-hour time. Oh, how do we find the workflow video? It is the most recent video on my channel. I'll just drop a link in the chat right now, and that way we get it in the show notes. This is this. Here is the link. And yes, but yeah, it's on my channel. I also did just redo the layout of my channel, so all my edited are up here and the live streams are down there. Hopefully it's easier to find stuff. Cool. I think the Mini is the other way around, mounted on a camera. Maybe. If you're going to do that, then I think you don't need anything else, because it does have a tripod screw on the bottom. So there is a tripod screw down there. So you can put it on, I don't have it here, but one of those little cold shoe to 1/4 inch thread. And but then here's the problem, is that yes, this is a very cute little thing, and it looks very small at first, but then you realize you have to start plugging things in. And this is, I think, where the cage helps, because this stuff starts adding a lot of bulk. One is obviously not the end of the world, but if you plug in audio and maybe power for external power, if you're running this out HDMI into something, then this is all going to start adding a bunch of cables, which would then be floating on top of your camera. Oh, look at all the fingerprints. Wow. But yeah, I don't think it would be very practical to have this floating on top of a camera with a bunch of cables hanging out the top. That's why I think it makes more sense to do it that way, where maybe flip the YoloBox around. I think it flips. Does this one flip? Ooh. It's not flipping. The other one auto flips. Maybe it's a setting in here. There is a screen rotate. There we go. Okay, so now it's upside down. So all the ports are on the bottom. And now you could put this into a cage. And I feel like this makes more sense, because then you got more support for all the cables. That is my theory. Can the YoloBox Mini also flip the screen? As we just discovered, it can, but apparently it is a setting rather than auto sensing like the Pro. looks like the YoloBox Mini. Just don't like do what I'm doing and demonstrate it on a live stream. Normally you're just using it and you're not showing the screen with full fingerprints. Darren, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for the quick replies to my questions. I appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat. This is wonderful. Okay, we are getting some responses on the poll. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. That just got pushed out, and then we are going to drag it into the ATEM so I can show it to you. I wish I could make it smaller better, but I can't. So show the results. There we go. We got 58% for a cage, 11% for a stand, and 31% for both. That's useful. Okay, that can confirm my suspicions, which is that the cage is definitely more important than the stand. So we will see what we can come up with. Nice little triangle thing on your desk. Maybe you can use it to put it on a mic. That just happens to be exactly why it's here. This little thing I did yesterday, it's printed on sticky vinyl, and I printed it in 3 parts so I could wrap around the corners. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. Ignore it. But I got it to wrap around the corners. And yes, it is in fact a microphone flag. That is what it's for. So this is what I'll be wandering around NAB with. That way you can always find me. So that's why it's on my desk. The Pro has no auto sensing. I could have sworn it did. I thought I remember the screen just turning itself around. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, I missed a couple questions from before. Which Sennheiser is that? It's the MD46. We'll do an audio test here soon, now that we've passed the hour and 30-minute mark. For some reason, the colors when you share a Mac look weird, but when you connect the YoloBox and use it as a monitor, the colors look right. Can you try it? The colors when you share the Mac, do you mean like me specifically, or in general into the ATEM? Because I think sharing my computer screen into this looks fine right now. This is what it looks like. I think the colors on this are correct, and I hope they are. If not, then I have a problem. But I think that's fine. But yeah, we can also try it into the YoloBox. Also, what was that plugged in? This one was G. So I can go and reroute G to be my computer screen, and then go back into the YoloBox, and now this cable should be my computer screen. See if it pops up. There it is. That is my ATEM software control, or let's not get the fingerprints in the picture, or the XAir interface for the audio mixer. It looks fine to me. It looks good. Yeah. It's very small. Like, I don't know if I would be able to use my computer screen because it's a, 1080. I can sort of read the text on those buttons. Very, very small though. Let me know if you had a more specific question. When you share code like in Visual Code or other editor, it doesn't look good. That is, so here, I think I have Sublime open. Here is, so here is the super source version of sharing my computer screen with XML of all the macros, right? This is my ATEM's config, so I've got macros in here and stuff. That's mostly what I do here, all the macros. Oh yeah, speaking of, here, I will show you how I did the little graphics. Where are they? The graphics for YoloBox. Oh, didn't export. Let me export them first. save as Extreme, and then we are going to save only the macros, and then I can open that up. Oops, Extreme 417. Okay, so I should have a YoloBox in here. No. Oh, it's not a macro, it's a companion button. What is my companion button for that? This one. This goes and loads the animated stars in the hyperdeck, plays that clip on loop, loads a graphic in the media player. This was how I was showing like the giveaway, or I could do the like the red and purple, and then now I'm gonna set it down to repeat. Okay, there were no macros in this one. I was lying. Anyway, still sharing my screen as a demo of this. This is now ATEM purple and red. So if I press that, you should see that. There we go. Anyway, the whole point of this was to show you what code looks like on the screen, which is probably a little bit hard to read, but that's because it's scaled down. If I go full screen on the computer, this is probably easier to read, and you may only be able to see if you're actually watching in 1080. But here's one of my macros, which is very complicated. Configuring all the super source stuff. So this is what it looks like here. And then if we go look at it on the YoloBox, I would say it looks about the same. Now, I'm not going to be using my computer to code stuff. I'm not going to be using the YoloBox Mini as a monitor to actually use my computer this way. I would definitely want to see my computer on a larger screen because this is very small. But you probably can't tell in this video, but I can read this text in person at this distance. And I wouldn't say it's pleasant, but if I had to, I could use my computer this way, at least when the text is this large. It's, if I go back to editing here, this gets a little bit hard because like these little things are really hard to see. So if I'm looking at the, like, what's the clip name? That's a little bit hard to read. You definitely can't see it on the camera because the exposure is not cooperating. But yeah, that large text was readable. Cool. Okay, let me switch that back to the camera. I can see the text on the 24-inch screen, YouTube in normal view, not full theater. Oh, cool. If you pass it through the Mac using the YoloBox and the ATEM, the colors look better. So, okay, there is a trick with the Mac. Sometimes it doesn't set the right display profile for the screen it's outputting to. So if let me show you what I mean by that. If I show you this setting, let me cover up that so I don't distract myself. In the displays. So in here, there is color profile. And sometimes this, I believe I actually set this one myself. Sometimes it'll pick one that doesn't look good. So like, let's pick a random one like this one. Now the colors look horrible, both on the stream and on my monitor. So like sometimes it just doesn't pick a good one. And I've made one that I use for this, and it seems to look fine now. So that could be a thing to look at. I believe Photo Joseph has a better explanation of that on his channel. Let me find that. Let's see. ATEM Mini Color. Yeah, choosing the right color profile on the ATEM Mini. So I'll drop a link to this video because he goes into some of the more details about it. Photo Joseph's ATEM Mini Color Profile video. There we go. Hopefully that helps. I have noticed that though. Okay. How about a cage with magnetically attached legs? Interesting. Maybe. We will see. Maybe a cage with two flip-out legs. Flip-out could work. Hinges, moving parts make me a little bit nervous. That's where things tend to wear out and break. Maybe. Good ideas. In your opinion, is the YoloBox Mini cost-effective when compared to something like a Microsoft Surface Go with an HDMI cam link running OBS? Can you get one for the same cost? I don't really know what a Surface Go costs these days. I would personally be nervous about running OBS in a cam link on a Microsoft Surface. Two reasons. I don't know what processor is on those devices. Maybe they're good enough now. In the past, I've been not impressed with the performance. But two, I don't really want to be streaming from Windows because I don't trust Windows to not just decide when it wants to update. I swear, every time I turn on my computer, it's like, we're going to run updates now. Oh, you want to turn off your computer because your event's done? Too bad. You have to install 30 minutes of updates first. So, I don't know. I get frustrated with that. So, I prefer... The YoloBox is an interesting place in this because it's kind of dedicated hardware and it's kind of software. So, like, it is an Android-based device running the Android OS, which is usually more of an OS than I would want on these kinds of things. But it is a trimmed down version of Android OS. It's not a regular Android device. Like, it boots up into their one app, and that's basically how you use it. And it also is custom hardware. So it's got, like, effectively a capture card built in, right? And I think they did a very good job of, like, treading that line of, are you hardware or are you software? And that is, yeah, I think they did a good job with it. So let me... getting this back in here so I can put it on the screen again, but I have to get all my fingerprints off of it. I just need to not touch it ever again. Yeah, so it is software. It is software running on this, which is good and bad, but they've seemed to have done a very good job of making it not crash. And also they do push out updates at a pace that I'm reasonably happy with. So, yeah, that's... Cannot see where it fits into the product line. Reminds me of Zoom cannibalizing different audio units, but leaving out a requirement like the PodTrack P4 without 48K. I don't know. I think where it fits in is the fact that it is the streaming encoder and graphics part of the YoloBox minus the switcher. And I think they were seeing a lot of people using only one camera with the YoloBox Pro, which is a lot to ask of a $1,300 device, right? So making this a lot more cheaper means you still get all the benefits of, like, the graphics overlays, and you can type lower thirds and stuff on here, and that's really useful for a lot of streams, even if you only have one camera. So I think that's where it fits in. And now I will also say I have some feature requests that I am making about things I would like to see added to the YoloBox Mini software, just to make a one camera show run better. So hopefully we see those come out in an update, but they do take feedback like that into it, like, very seriously. And I've seen lots and lots of software updates and features I've requested put into the YoloBox and the YoloBox Pro already. How much is the Mini? It seems to depend on the region you're in. So not totally sure about where you are, but on the B&H website, I did link to it below, but the B&H website has it for pre-order right now for $699, which is, that's significantly cheaper than the Pro. It's like half the price, right? Because the Pro is $1,300. But it seems to depend on the region. MD46 is a good choice. Dynamic mic with a cardioid pickup. It should be held close to the subject's mouth. Does anybody know the history of microphone flags? To me, it seems like a very American thing. In Germany, all the TV stations have foam covers in the station colors with the name and logo on them. Interesting. Eric says, Photo Joseph got stung by a Windows update during his last live stream. Right? Yeah. It just always happens when you least expect it. The mic flag, no doubt. Aaron will be visible in the background of some live from NAB videos next week. I like it. Yeah, I'm going to carry this around so you can always find me And maybe people will recognize it because it's got those nice bright colors. I'm excited about it. I may also wear my shirt one of the days. We'll see if I'm feeling bold enough to do that. Jonathan says, great detail in your videos. Very diligent. Thank you. Appreciate it. I try. I do try. Question. You think Blackmagic will make a box-style camera, reducing the price of the 6K Pro to what the 6K pricing is? Also, are you excited for the Frame IO coming free in the Monday update? Oh yeah, tomorrow they have a Resolve Cloud live stream, and don't know what to expect, but it's very likely something that's going to compete with Frame IO. We'll see. So interesting. I actually, like, about 4 or 5 weeks ago, right before I left for the trip to Vienna, I actually installed a Postgres database on a server at home, and that was so that I could edit videos from multiple machines all synced together. And I've been doing that now too. I didn't include that in the video yesterday because I didn't feel like that was relevant, super relevant. But it is nice to be able to use either the computer here or my laptop at home, and I can access all the same projects, and they're all just saved in the cloud, which is actually in my home server. And that's been really, really useful. So I'm really curious if any of the things announced tomorrow are going to make that like way more accessible. Because right now it's kind of a pain to set up. You have to actually go and install Postgres on some sort of server somewhere and then deal with passwords and stuff. So that would be very cool. I'm looking forward to that. That is tomorrow coming out. I'm waiting to get a camera once they announce. Yeah, I think there's a handful of Blackmagic products I would not buy right now until we know more about what they're doing at the end of the month. Is the original YoloBox $8.99? Yeah, that is. I believe that it started at $9.99 and they dropped it to $8.99 a while ago. That sounds right. $8.99 US. So then the Mini is $200 less than that. So, yeah. I avoided the first YoloBox since it lacked stereo audio inputs. Oh, did it? That's weird. I see the Mini has a line in. Have you tried the mic or line in? Yeah, I've plugged in one of these into the mic in. Ooh, I don't know if the line in is stereo. That is an interesting one. I feel like it is, but I'll double check for you. Good question. Again, I'm working on the actual video I'm doing about this. This is just sneak peeks in the live stream. So I am going to put out an actual video. So these questions are very helpful, and I will make sure I answer them in the video. Couldn't find any finished resellers for the Mini yet. It did just come out. So yeah, I don't know who they were able to get lined up. Would you do a video on how you set up your server at home? I was planning to. That was part of why I had started to test that workflow. Because I do think it's really cool to be able to sync Resolve projects. But depending on what they announce tomorrow, it may make that whole thing irrelevant. So if they announce tomorrow that you can just save projects in Blackmagic Cloud, then I'm probably not going to do a video about doing it yourself, because that will be far easier to use their thing for it. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Wow. Time is just flying right by. Cool. So, do you think Blackmagic will ever come out with a non-extreme ATEM with super source? Like putting it into the mini minis? I don't know. I was surprised to see it in the extreme, frankly, because it had always been part of the much more expensive ones. So, I think it would be. I would want to see it even in the ATEM Nano, because I think it's useful to be able to do side by side where both inputs are scaled. So being able to do this effectively, where it's my computer screen is shrunk down and my video is shrunk down, I think that's a useful layout for a lot of things. So I would love to see it in more things. And I think what they've shown us with the Extreme is that they have the ability to put that feature into cheaper devices. So yeah. Okay, cool. So it is 11:42. We have just been chatting for a long time. Let's now, did I get all the things I wanted to get to before I move on? I think I did. We talked about the NAB Meetup. We talked about the ATEM Mini, YoloBox Mini, not ATEM Mini, YoloBox Mini. So yeah, let's go ahead and try out some mics. Yes. So what I've got here is I'm trying to decide which mics to bring to NAB, whether that is small little things like the DJI or Rode Wireless Go or Hollyland, or full-on handheld mics, or both, and which ones. So what I've done here is I have 3 different ways to get handheld mics. That's kind of cool. You can see me in that screen in my overhead view. I have 3 different ways to get handheld wireless mics into a camera. So I spent a while looking for these. My criteria for looking for these kinds of things was I don't want. So most handheld mics are going to be XLR, right? They're going to have an XLR connector on the bottom. Are you going to focus on? It's like really wanting to focus on my face. There we go. Nope, there we go. So most of the handheld mics are going to have a XLR. So if I want to get that into a camera, I need to somehow deal with XLR to 1/8 inch. So I could like run a cable. I don't want to run cables that long when I'm in that kind of setting. So I want wireless. A lot of the XLR wireless options are XLR on both ends. Overhead is a bit overexposed and blurry. Well, we can fix that. I think it's overexposed because it's trying to expose for my face, not my face, which is now in the screen. Let's see if that. And focus on the table. There we go. It's just overexposed because there's just too much light. Oh, I do have the exposure cranked up on it. That's why. Exposure comp. Let's drop that down to 0.3. Okay. Hopefully the focus is good. So I'll probably bring that back. Yeah, so most of the things I found were XLR to XLR, which I don't want to do because I don't want to have to deal with XLR into these small cameras. It's fantastic if I had a big camera with XLR in, but I'm not going to bring a big camera like that. So this one I've had for a long time. This is why it's got my bicycle logo on it. It's super beat up because I was bringing it to a bunch of conferences. This is the Audio Technica. I like this one because it's just one system. Like this is the handheld mic. It's got AA batteries in it. You can use rechargeable batteries. You can swap them out during an event, all that stuff. This is, did I run the battery out on this? No, okay, it just shut off by itself. That pairs to this receiver. This receiver is not small. Also, this receiver comes with this little thing to turn it into a cold shoe mount, but this has lost all of its grippy power. So I can't, I can no longer actually effectively leave it on the camera. It's just going to slide out. So I had to figure out something to squeeze that better. So it's also not small, but this has a battery in it, so it is nice. The other ones I recently found are, this is new. This is Mackie's new system, and they have a couple different options for it. So they have a couple of combos. There's a transmitter, which looks like this, and then there's a receiver. And they do have an XLR receiver too, but I wanted this version, which has 1/8 inch out. And it's very, very light, almost too light. It makes me a little bit nervous how light it is. But it does have the cold shoe clip, which is nice. And then this one, I actually been looking at this ages ago, and I found a comment on somebody's video review about it that I left like 4 years ago. Maybe it was 3 years ago. It was a long time ago. And this is a Sennheiser kit, and they, again, have a bunch of different combos with them. So I found the combo, it's called their interview style. It's got XLR transmitter, 1/8 inch receiver. So the focus is not keeping up. Why is this camera doing so bad today? I think I have to go more extreme. There it goes. Okay, so here's the Sennheiser. XLR on the top. So those are the two general ones for general mics, and this is just its own mic. So they're going into this thing, which is a very cheap mixer, which has, let me just say, if I wave a transmitter near it, it picks up all the interference from it. So I'm going to hopefully keep the transmitters far enough away that you don't hear buzzing when we do the test. So I can turn up the volume on each of these, and this is running into this side camera. So it's just going into here so that I can route it into the stream so that you can hear it. So let's take a look first at how am I going to do this? So I do want to give a disclaimer first. Well, first of all, I bought all these three. These are not given to me. These are things I purchased. But the other disclaimer I want to give is the audio you're listening to right now has some amount of processing in it. So if I show you my audio interface, in particular, I have a noise gate. Let me first show you what this overhead mic sounds like without the noise gate. So that's my overhead mic, no noise gate now. So you can hear, you may not hear it unless you have headphones on, but this is what it actually sounds like in the room when I don't put the noise gate on to try to get that very faint buzz out of the way. When we listen to these receivers, I am not going to do any processing at all. It's going to go straight into the camera, straight into the ATEM, onto the stream. So it's going into the side camera, so I'm going to turn that on, and you will hear whatever I've turned on, whatever mic I've got enabled. So, do you want to run this as a poll for comparison? Sure, I like it. Good idea. I was going to ask you if your heart was noisy. I bought a Heart Loop 8 off a recommendation on Discord, and it's nonstop noise. This interface does add a little bit of noise. I was able to tweak it to get it to be not terrible. So let's first actually do that just for a baseline. What I'm going to do is turn off my overhead mic, and I'm going to turn on, here, I'll show you this. So I'm going to turn off the overhead mic. I'm going to turn on this into the camera, but all three faders are down. So this is just to get an idea of the noise of this without any microphones on yet. It's not bad. It's less than the background noise of my overhead mic. So not too bad by itself, but you will hear this. That's this thing picking up the transmitter. So first let's do the Audio Technica, because I think the battery might be dying. So Audio Technica going into input 2, and now we hear me twice. So turn off the, okay, here we go. This is the Audio Technica microphone. So let me get my little graphic up here too, because I prepared this. This is the sound from the Audio Technica microphone. And one thing I noticed about this microphone is it puts out a lot of volume compared to the other ones. So I have to turn down the gain on the receiver quite a bit, and otherwise I'm clipping. So it's very, very a lot of juice. Yeah, the batteries are dying on this one. Let's see if I can get a couple more seconds in because I want to show you how it directional is. Okay, so here's into the mic, here's away from the mic. Pretty directional, pretty good. So I think this would work well for interviewing like on the noisy floor. So away from it sounds, it's rejecting a lot, right? So that's pretty good. And that's the end of that battery. But the batteries are AA, so I can have backup batteries on me and just swap them out. Okay, let's get rid of that. It is a very good mic. I'm impressed with it. Very directional, great rejection. Sounds like you're on the show floor now. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is poll. We're gonna run this poll. Which mic combo sounds best? Audio Technica System 10. But then we're gonna have 4 options because I've got the 2 mics and 2 different receivers. So we've got Sennheiser mic plus Sennheiser receiver. We've got Sennheiser mic plus Mackie receiver. Then we've got, I should be showing you what I'm typing, so this is not boring. Rode Reporter plus Sennheiser transmitter. Oh, I can't do 5 options. I can only add 4 options. How am I going to do this then? Well, you know what? I'm going to cheat. I'm pretty sure the Mackie and the Rode is the least good combo, so I'm just not going to include it. And yes, handling noise is a good one. I actually wanted to point that out. So let me turn this one back on and maybe get a couple more seconds out of it. So this is the Audio Technica, and it is picking up a lot of handling noise. That is one thing I noticed with this, is if I touch it in the slightest, it does pick up quite a lot of that. So it's pretty low frequency. You may not hear it depending on the headphones, but that is, I did notice that. Okay. So let me turn back on my noise gate on this microphone so it sounds a little better. There we go. So, where was I? That's the Audio Technica test. It is very sensitive on the handling noise for sure. So let's move on to the Rode Reporter. So I can low cut to cut out some of that, but if I'm going into a camera that doesn't have any of that kind of audio processing, I'm kind of out of luck. So for if I was going into the ATEM, then I definitely could do that. So, okay, we're gonna do, I should have not had all these on this whole time. So the batteries are running low. So, Rode Reporter with the Mackie wireless. Got to turn that up. There we go. So this is the Rode Reporter. It is omnidirectional. It's on the Mackie transmitter. I'm trying to hold it away from that just mixer, to otherwise we hear the little hissing wireless interference. That's not the receiver's fault. That's a little mixer's fault. This is omnidirectional, so it's not going to reject nearly as much. Actually, it does reject from that side pretty well, but it does mean I can be a little bit looser about pointing directly at my face compared to the Audio Technica. One thing I notice listening to this myself, there's just this level of hiss that I can just hear all the time. And I had to turn this gain up a lot more compared to the gain on the Audio Technica. This one has to be up like near the top in order to get this level of volume out of my voice. So that is the deal with this one. And now I'm going to switch quickly to the Sennheiser transmitter for comparison. Now this is the Rode Reporter and the Sennheiser. So same idea, I had to turn the gain up pretty high on that mixer to get this level of volume out of it. I can still hear that hiss pretty well. So I don't know if that means it's not the Mackie's fault, because the Sennheiser has it too. We'll see. Quite directional still. Yeah, you can hear as I am going across my face. It is more directional than I thought it was going to be for their Omni mic. Tycho says unusable audio. Rejection is more friendly than the Audio Technica. Definitely his noise floor is pretty high. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to switch to the Sennheiser mic with, let's keep things, we'll keep it on this, no, let's go back to the Mackie. So, okay. Sennheiser with the Mackie. Okay, so I had to crank the gain up about the same as with the other mic, and this is the Sennheiser MD46 with the Mackie transmitter, and this one is very directional. You can hear I very quickly fall off if I'm not pointing it straight at my face. So if I'm talking behind it, it's also, wow, yeah, way more directional, which is what I would expect from this. I still hear the hiss and the noise floor. So, yep. I'm okay with this one. I think it sounds better to me, but I am also hearing my voice and also the audio, so we'll listen back on the recording later. Now I'm going to switch this out to the Sennheiser transmitter. This is the Sennheiser transmitter on the Sennheiser microphone. So I did have to turn the gain up pretty high on the mixer. I hear a bit of a noise, a bit of a hiss, but it seems like it's less than the Mackie one in my opinion. So let me know what you think. Oh, don't forget about the handling noise. Thank you. Here is some touching the microphone. It's not as sensitive as the Audio Technica, I would say. And then I didn't test it with the Rode. Let's test it with the Rode really quick. I'll just test it with this transmitter. So here's the Rode Reporter, with the Sennheiser wireless. It's doing much more. I can barely hear the handling noise, but I think that might just be because I don't hear as many low frequencies at all. Like, it seems to be more tailored towards the voice range. So it's already rejecting a lot of the lower frequencies. Okay, how are we doing on the poll? Are we, oh wow, that sound is so much different. Are we rating looks too? Sure. This is the Sennheiser combo. The Rode Reporter sounds quite tinny. I agree, thin. So far, Sennheiser is the leader. How are we doing in the poll? Yeah, I see. Ooh, definitely the leader. Maybe I can sneak a few more minutes out of the Audio Technica. I don't have any batteries here, though. So this is one of the downsides of this. The microphone is not powered, which is nice, but the receiver and the transmitter are internal battery powered, but they do have a focus. Hello? No, it's not going to focus on that. I don't know why it's not cooperating with me today. Anyway, that is a USB-C port on the bottom of the transmitter and receiver, which means theoretically you can power it over a battery. So, yeah. Got an 8-pack of Watson AA's and Watson 8-cell charger, less than $80, and the AA's can be totally discharged using a button. I think I like the combination, that I'm not sure what the total means. So let's go once quickly back, just loop back around to the Audio Technica, because I think I can get a few more seconds of it. And this is the Audio Technica again, which frankly sounds good to me. And I barely have to have the gain up, which means there's going to be less noise. This is if I keep going with the gain until I hear noise. It's way too loud. So let's turn that back down to about there. It sounds good to me, although it does have a lot more handling noise. So, yeah. I really need new batteries for that. Here we are back with the Sennheiser combo. Yeah, one of the other things is, like, I care a lot about the form factor of this stuff. And this Sennheiser has this little clip. So actually you would... this is how I'd be using it on the camera. And that would attach into the cold shoe of the camera or on the YoloBox cage. And this one does not have that because I need to rig up something to hold this to it, because this has lost its springiness over the years I've had it. So I think, yeah, Audio Technica does sound good, and no hiss, very low noise floor. I know, it's really tough. It doesn't focus because your face is down there. I know, I think it might be, oh, I do see the little face tracking on it. I forgot to turn face tracking off. I'm torn. I like the Sennheiser combo, but I'm curious what the Audio Technica's gain on the mic itself is. Oh, I did forget there's a setting. Let me go back. Okay, let me go back to my overhead mic so I can actually not have to hold that. I forgot that there, focus. Now I have no face. There we go. That little screw is a gain adjustment, and I totally forgot about checking what that was set at. But frankly, I think it sounded good. Like, I think it was nice. I didn't have to have the receiver cranked up very high. The Audio Technica sounds nice. What is a rough cost comparison between these? That's a good question. So I didn't add it all up. I do have links to everything in the description, so maybe we can click through. Audio Technica sounds best, except for the handling noise. Yeah, which may be the deal breaker. The overhead is the best. Take that one. Well, it's the best for this room. I don't think it's the best for a show floor. If it's gained up, that could be the handling noise. That could be, but then if I reduce that, then the noise floor goes up. So what is the little mixer you're using to test this? This is the Maker Heart Just mixer, and you may notice that it is not well isolated. Yeah, not well isolated from audio interference. This one I think does it too. Yeah, different sounds for each microphone. Kind of fun to hear what their wireless interference sounds like. I was looking for the pricing. So the pricing, all the links are in the description. And what I did was, let's see, the Road Reporter. This is the difference between, so some of these are going to be two parts, right? The Rode was $129 and the Sennheiser was $199 for the mic. And then the Mackie was $200 and the Sennheiser kit was $270. So, surprise, the Sennheiser combo is the most expensive. $270 plus 200, so did not need a calculator for that. $470, whereas the Road Reporter shaves $70 off, and then the Mackie shaves $70 off too, if I remember all that correctly. And then the Audio Technica, I think, is like $400 total, or it's $500, but I bought it so long ago that I've written that off already. So, yep. Curious to know how effective these are in dealing with real life 2.4 interference. I agree. We will find out because I'm probably not taking all of them. Thank you for the super chat. From the mechanics of producing a show on the road, cognitive load involved, go with the Sennheiser RX-TX. That is what I'm leaning towards. That is what I'm leaning towards. Even though it is a built-in battery, which means I have to charge it if it runs out, rather than replacing the battery. Malin says, oh, this is great. I have both Sennheiser and the AT System 10 in a noisy interview environment. The Sennheiser is in for the win. Good to know. We have a little bit of that today. There's some construction happening out there, which is strange for a Sunday, but the house is gone, and they're chopping up all the wood to package it up to reuse it. And they're running saw blades out there right now. Can you plug a power bank into the Sennheiser? I think so. I don't have one nearby. It would be super awkward to hold a power bank on this. On the receiving end, sure, but not on the transmitter end. So I think they advertised it was relatively quick to charge back up to 50% or something. So I may just have to be on top of charging. What was the Sennheiser wireless set model? It was the interview kit. I did link that in the description below. But it's the XLR transmitter, 1/8 inch receiver. Oh, somebody says, where did it go? Oh, I lost it. Oh, here it is. We should have built a soundscape of a convention floor. You know, I had that thought. Did I remember to put that in here? No, I did not. I thought I found maybe it's on art. Maybe I can find it on our art list really quick. I think I had found one on art list that's like a noisy crowd, and I can just blast it through the speakers there. Let's turn the computer audio off from the stream. And then log in. Test charging during use. Yeah, I don't think I would ever plan on charging the transmitter while it's in use, frankly, just because I don't see how it's possible to make that make any sense. But I will plug a battery into the receiver and try that. I can see someone walking around with a cable to a power bank in their pocket to charge between interviews. I could definitely do that, yeah. I'll definitely have batteries on me for various things, so I will be able to charge them quickly. Here we go. Okay, I did find this yesterday. Let's output computer audio out of the MR18 and then get it out of the... See, that's putting it onto the stream, right? Oh, it's not. Great. So, okay. We've got a little football crowd outside. This is some sounds from Artlist. And it's playing through my speakers up there. So the you can probably hear it from this overhead microphone coming out of those speakers because I turned off the noise gate. And now we can try a little bit of what it's like to switch over to the Sennheiser and see how well it rejects. In fact, let me put this on so I can hear it too. Yeah, we got a little crowd out there. Okay. Crowd is coming through loud and clear. Let me make sure I have 2 minutes of it still. So let's do this. Ooh, that's loud. Okay. I don't hear it at all. Do you? It's. Oh yeah. That's very directional. That's really good. I'm impressed. Yeah, because you can totally hear it when I do that. Now you can't even really hear me. So this is what it'd be like shouting from someone's next to me in the booth shouting, and I can barely hear them. So this is good. Okay. Get on a Discord call with a bunch of us and blast that from the speakers. That would work too. No, this is good. This is good. All right, let's cut that noise out. Whew, that's stressful. Yeah, can't hear me. That was the point. Okay, good. I'm happy with this. I think this is what it's going to be. So back to overhead, back to the noise gate, and that was a fun little test. Definitely, let's see, let's take a look at the poll, and we'll put this on the stream again. The tested out 100 success. Yeah, the winner, I think, by far is the Sennheiser combo, which is great. I'm happy with that. It's not outrageously priced, so that's nice. Where's my graphic? Oh, I need to turn that overlay off. Here are the results. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought based on the chat. Sennheiser combo wins for sure. Audio-Technica comes in with a strong second place. Sennheiser and Mackie, nobody really cared about. Rode and Sennheiser got more love than the Mackie receiver. So, yeah, okay, that's good to know. That is great. Thank you for all of the thoughts. Full up test on a live stream too. It's been a while since I've done that. That worked out pretty well. Yeah, definitely gonna have a charging battery pack on me. I'm gonna be carrying a backpack too, I'm sure, because I have so much stuff that I bring around. So what about the SM58? So I didn't include that in these tests because when I was testing it out at home before this, I was not impressed at all, frankly. One reason is because it's so short. So it's awkward to hold. Once you put a flag on it, there's barely any handle left. It's like this long. So it doesn't really work with a flag. But it was almost too it was like too isolating, if that makes sense. I didn't think it was going to be a good option for this. Oh, my little sticker is bubbling a little bit. Well, you won't be able to see it at a distance. Would the Sennheiser combo work for full range audio distance mixer for music event to YoloBox, for example? Oh, probably, because so they actually do have an XLR receiver too. This one is the 1/8 inch receiver, but they have a kit with the XLR receiver also. And then you can plug that into a mixer. And it seemed like it is passing a good solid signal through. I didn't feel like it was cutting out any frequencies. I also use the AKG C1000s with the Sennheiser dongles. Cool. I'm impressed at how old the Sennheiser kit is, and yet it's still completely relevant. I remember when this came out, when the Rode Wireless Go original came out, I had been looking for wireless mic setup in the first place, like at that point. And someone did a video about this compared to the Rode Wireless Go, and I ended up buying the Rode Wireless Go, the original one, ages ago because it made more sense for me at that point. And now I think it's super funny that I'm like coming back to buying this. So SM58 is super isolated. It needs phantom. I didn't think it needed phantom because it did work with this. And I don't think this is providing phantom power, but it did work with that transmitter. It was just really quiet. Background noise will be way louder than you will expect. You will need directional. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's why I think it makes the most sense to go with this Sennheiser, which was very directional. Yeah, SM58 doesn't need phantom. That's what I thought. Yeah. Okay. Cool. That was fun. Thanks for playing around with me. Yeah, hopefully the wireless holds up. I think I'm going to bring one of these small ones anyway. This is the DJI, which I still just love how small it is. This is the focus. There we go. The new DJI kit. Absolutely love how small it is compared to, for example, once you put the Rode into a case. So we'll see. I don't think this is going to be the best for wandering the show floor because these pick up a lot. But they did a lot of cool stuff in here, and I think it'd be a useful thing to have on me for maybe other reasons. Anyway, so I'll probably bring that too. And we will see. In general, I would plan with using a cable because 2.4 will be crowded like crazy. I know, but I'm not going to be very far away from... I'm not planning on like being even 10 feet away from it, so I'm going to be probably at most like 3 feet away from the transmitter and receiver. But I don't think I'm going to bring a cable just because that's going to be too bulky and I would need to bring a mixer also. I think I will bring this camera microphone, maybe not the fuzzies, and then stick this into here. It's really grippy. Oh, wow. Oh my God, I feel like I'm going to break it. That's really strong. Oh my gosh, there it goes. Yeah, this is the Deity Duo. So I bought this one a while ago just because. Still trying to find my face. Cover up my face. Focus on this. I need to turn the face tracking off on that camera. Deity D4 Duo, so it picks up on both sides, which is kind of cool. And I'll probably bring this as a backup just in case wireless falls completely apart. Then I at least have the ability to use this. It'll be less isolating, but maybe still good enough. Maybe still good enough. You don't need a mixer if the microphone doesn't need phantom. An adapter cable should suffice. It's still just a lot of wires. Yeah. Charging case for the Rode 2 charges the mics constantly, then goes flat, needs to have an on-off switch. So the trick is there is an on-off switch, but it's really awkward. It is if you double tap. Let's see. Oh, mine died because I forgot to turn it off. I would have preferred a physical switch, but if you, I think it's double tap, turns it on and off. But yeah, mine's totally dead, so I can't show you. Yeah, all right. That was fun. I've got all sorts of stuff sprawled out here now. Definitely not bringing the little Maker Heart mixer because that thing is super noisy and will pick up all of the... Maybe if I want to, test out what the transmitters sound like, it's a good thing to buy. But yeah. The sad little Mackie receiver is probably going to get sent back because I'm not super impressed. I wanted this to work so well. But sadly, it seems to have lost the race. Good tip, hadn't realized about double tap. Yeah, it's either double tap or it's long press. Now I can't remember which. But I agree that it it would have been better to have a physical switch because I will often forget to turn it off, as I just did, and then drained the battery. Okay, we're done. Man, this is a lot of construction noise. You're gonna have to get used to this because that's gonna be going nonstop for a year. It's gonna take at least a year to build this house right out there. So, yeah, that'll be fun. Maybe I'll have to switch to this microphone for my own live streams because I need to reject all the construction noise. You might try a condenser shotgun with internal battery with a Sennheiser dongle. Yeah, interesting. We can't hear the construction noise. Oh, that's good. Okay. Well, right now it's relatively tame. So it may get louder when they start running more tools. Those dongles have a super wide 2.4 bandwidth. I guess that's both good and bad. That means stomping all over everybody else's spectrum too. Best wishes on all your travels this week and hopefully no delays, complications, or cancellations. Thanks. Yeah, send good wishes my way because this week is complicated. I'm actually, before NAB, I'm actually going to Washington, D.C. for work. Wednesday, coming back Friday, so cross your fingers that I make it back. I have 24 hours at home to pack for NAB and then head out Saturday evening for Vegas. I was considering planning, like, if for some reason my flight gets totally messed up and I can't make it back from DC, what if I had to fly straight to NAB from there? And I was like, I don't really want to bring all of the kit that I'm going to be using for NAB with me to the DC trip because it would serve no purpose unless I have to go straight there afterwards. So I'm thinking I might bring just enough gear with me to DC as an emergency streaming kit in case I can't make it back home and turn around and go back out. I'm a little bit nervous about it because so I live in Portland and then DC is on the complete opposite end of the country, which is like 3,000 miles away. Vegas is not that far from Portland. It's about a 2-hour flight. So I'm essentially going across the country and back and then down to Vegas. And then the flight from DC is actually going through San Francisco. So I go across south and then up. Yeah. We will find out. On stage, the dongles can interfere with your mixer iPad control app. Good for your purposes on the convention floor, not so good with live performances. Interesting. Which days am I there? I'm going to be there all the show floor days. So I get in Saturday night. I'll be there first thing Sunday morning when the floor opens at 10. I'm going to try to get in to the floor early to actually do this live stream at 10. And then we'll see if I can pull that off. Not sure. And then I'm going to be there all the way through Wednesday. I think I fly back Thursday. So it'll be fun. Yeah, next week the show is going to be completely different. I will be hopefully waving this around at people's faces and coming to you live from the show floor with probably a YoloBox. We'll find out. We'll find out what I do. I ordered two different data plans from 2 different carriers to bring on top of my Mint Mobile. So I should have 3 different cell phone SIM connections to try. I decided not to buy any bonding routers because they're very expensive and I don't think I have enough time to be confident enough in using them before then. Anyway, maybe I'll try one out from somebody in someone's booth who's there. So yeah, we'll find out. Whatever happens this week, it'll be fun. And yeah, now I got to go work on my YoloBox Mini video to get that out also. So if you do have any more questions about the YoloBox Mini, put them in the comments below and I will make sure to answer them in that video or on the next live stream. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for all the super chats. I will see you again soon. Hopefully I see some of you there at NAB. Come join me Monday, me and Photo Joseph and Doug Johnson. We're going to have a little informal get-together, just a place and a time where you can at least know that we're going to be there and come say hi to us. So link for that is below if you want to RSVP and let us know you're going to be there. Otherwise, yeah, see you again soon sometime, hopefully. I'm gonna just be optimistic, and I'm gonna assume everything's gonna work fine. I'm gonna make it there on Saturday, and yeah, we'll see you there. Bye.